because blessing. And I do blessing things, blessing. And when I do them, I always smile, because blessing makes the world go round. Yes, blessing makes the world go round. Hello, Pistas! In this video, I am going to be doing a painting of this beautiful cat that was inspired by the nyan cat meme from like 2011 and the pusheen cat, as well as from one of the cats that my sister owned, who sadly passed away a couple years ago. I am also going to be hanging it up over here. Oh yeah, you can see it. I'm going to be hanging it up over yonder. And I'm going to be talking about my sister and her love/obsession with cats and everything. 'Cause this painting is actually, it's her birthday present, which, don't worry, she doesn't watch my videos or pay attention to my social media or anything, so it's not going to be like a spoiler for her. But, yeah, she loves cats, and, her birthday was this past week, and so I decided to make her a painting, especially because, I called her for her birthday, and she ended up telling me her version of how awful 2020 was, and it just really broke my heart. And I was already planning to do a painting for her, but after she called me, I was kind of like, yeah, because I was sketching out some other ideas, and I was like, none of them was really sticking with me. But then when I called her, I was like, yeah, I know exactly what you need for your birthday. So I'll be painting that, and then we're gonna hang it up at the end of the video. And so let's fly right into the video. Oh, you like my ring? It jingles. Yeah, I was that annoying girl in class that always had jewelry and whatnot that always made a bit of a statement. Let's fly into the video! Whee! Alrighty, let's fly right into this video, or painting, or whatever. My little sister's love of cats inspired this cat fantasy artwork. Her birthday was this past week, so I thought I would make a birthday painting artwork for her. She's a big fan of the pusheen and nyan cats, so I did a few sketches to make sure that this cat art, to make this cat art cute. Sorry. Yeah, what I ended up doing, I did some, quote unquote research of nyan cat and pusheen. I also did sketches of both in their original styles, and I tried to basically understand the anatomy in relation to like actual cat anatomy. So I mainly did that with pusheen because I felt that the pusheen cat, like the anatomy of a fat cat, is just really blobby like, and I think that's pretty funny. And nyan cat was a bit harder because I don't know what it is with me and seeing nyan cat, but it literally looks like the cat's head is like pasted onto a Pop-Tart. So whenever I see it running or whatever, it looks like the anatomy just looks kind of broken to me, if that makes sense. And so I was kind of like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do this, I want it to look sort of like, kind of like a cat in a Pop-Tart costume, but not to where it is in a costume, because otherwise that kind of kills the effect. But I was thinking, how can I make it so that it just looks natural and not broken? Because otherwise it would bother me. Anyway, ever since my sister was a kid, she loved cats. When Nyan Cat took off, she always sang the catchy song. Then she discovered Pusheen, and her inner girly girl went rampant. Yeah, she loves both of those cats, but I think Pusheen is like still, like relevant in like pop culture because, I know Facebook has the Pusheen little stickers because I use them all the time, and I think they have a Pusheen subscription box and stuff. And so I think Nyan Cat kind of was like a meme, and then it kind of just trickled off. And I've seen some more modern adaptations of it, but it's not nearly at the level that Pusheen is, being like an actual brand. My sister was once an amazing cat mama. She had a cat named Milky, which was short for Milky Way, like the Milky Way galaxy. She called him that because he was a white cat with black spots that we adopted. This was, maybe like 2009, I think. He was so smart. He talked to us all the time, and he knew several human words. His favorite was eat, which is what my mama would say when she finished cooking dinner. Yeah, it was funny because after she said, like, it's time to eat, he would walk up to her in the kitchen and sit down and look up at her, waiting to be fed. And she would always say, "Not you!" But she would put food in his bowl, after we got fed. And sometimes I do remember he would watch us or observe that we would eat at the dinner table, and we ate, upright. So there would be times where he would try and eat the same way. He would sit in one of the chairs, and we would have his food, or he would try and eat some of our food, but we wouldn't let him. It was always like crumbs and stuff. And he would sit upright and eat. And sometimes when it was in his old food bowl, it was quite hilarious. And it's just, he thought he was us, he really embraced like being a human despite the fact that he's a cat. I have funny memories of that. He sadly passed away many years ago, which took a toll on all of us. Yeah, he passed away. It was shortly after my 16th birthday, I think. And that was, we don't like to talk about that much, However, my sister's love of cats never dwindled. While she doesn't feel comfortable adopting another one at this point in time, she still obsesses over them. She also has an obsession with fish, but we're talking about cats right now. Yeah, I think when I last saw her for Christmas, I think she was talking about, it was either goldfish or koi fish, or a combination of the two, but she really likes fish. She made this screensaver of these fish swimming with some PlayStation controllers that she got from a music video, and she made it loop, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I painted this colorful abstract cat art to celebrate her birthday because she really deserves something special. 2020 was especially hard for her. I called her on her birthday, and she just needed a listening ear while she shared the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, she's the type of person who she does feel emotions, but she tends to guard her heart, like really guard her heart, to where you never really know what she's feeling, and sometimes it takes weeks or months or however long before she finally just lets all of it out, and she did it that day. But she was happy that I did call her because she really needed someone to talk to encourage her to reach out to her, friends, because friends, they make everything better, and they're just so easy to talk to, and stuff. Anyway, it was weird hearing about 2020 through the eyes of someone else. It's otherworldly for me, and it was for her too. Yeah, because I realized even when I saw Ben, it would be not this past weekend, but the weekend before last, when I saw him, when he was telling me about his 2020, it was just so wow. It's just mind blowing because, I was thinking about everything that I went through in 2020. So to hear what other people have gone through from like January to December, I don't know, it's just so different. Like, we each collectively had a crappy year, but to just hear the stories about how each one of our years sucked, it's just so, like, I'm not sure. It's kind of like a thing where if each one of us wrote a book about what happened in our version of 2020, it would kind of just be like a time capsule, Because I don't know, it's very hard to explain, but I'm kind of just interested in it. Not in like a weird, I'm happy 2020 happened sort of way, but just in like I guess it's kind of like in TV shows where they have the point of view from like a different character in each episode. It's kind of like that. And I think that's why I'm a bit fascinated with it from like a, just a different perspective and everything. But yeah, it sucked, and I'm glad that 2020 passed, is what I'm saying. So I made a painting that tapped into my ever-growing fantasy side while paying an homage to 3 cats that brought her happiness and continue to do so to this day. And she also had another cat before she had Milky. We named her Angel, but we had to rehome her when we moved. But she was a very, very sweet cat. She was an orange tabby, and her favorite TV show was Friends. And I knew this, we all knew this, because whenever Friends came on, she would lay in front of the living room couch and watch the TV. She would get upset if you changed the channel. And also, if you tried to pet her or pick her up, she would meow at you, like, if you came near her, in kind of like a don't bother me sort of way. And she would stop meowing if you, like, let her be. But that was her favorite TV show. And I just bring stuff like this up to be like, I love animals. I love them so much. And I just think it's so amazing how much the more domestic ones, they start mimicking humans, whoever they live with. And I can't wait to adopt a fur baby again. But that won't happen till I move out, to my own place and everything. Which is not happening right now. I keep feeling like I have to say this whenever I bring up moving out to my home place or whatever, because I know quite a few of you pea stubs know me personally, and I don't want y'all to get the idea that I'm packing my boxes about to move out, because I'm not, but I can't help but fantasize about it, okay? Anyway, how did I combine 3 cats into one abstract cat wall art? one of the talents I discovered that I have is taking inspiration from multiple elements to create something new. Yeah, so I think this kind of has to go back to when I was a kid and I was really obsessed with Pokemon. I still am, by the way. But not nearly as much as when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, I had money to buy the video games. But now that I'm older, I look at the price tags of not just the games themselves, but the consoles, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I got a 3DS. This was like 2018. It was my first time having a 3DS. Because before that, my latest console was the DS Lite. And so before I went to college was when Pokemon Black and White came out, and I didn't buy them because I was so upset that the Pokemon no longer followed you. Like, I was that upset about it, and I apparently missed out on two of the greatest main series Pokemon games. But I'm hoping to soon be able to buy them. I just haven't been able to yet. And so I finally got a 3DS in 2018 because I couldn't afford the Switch because it was crazy expensive. And so what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to like catch up on my Pokemon games and stuff. And last year, I think it was last spring, around when we were in quarantine, I started playing my Pokemon Coliseum. I'm almost finished with it, but I'm having to like train and stuff because I'm fixing to fight like the last couple bosses in that game. Because I've had Coliseum and XD for the longest time, and they're like some of my favorite Pokemon games. But I never completed either of them because I'm the type of person where I'll play a video game, for a little bit and then I just stop for a while. Because I'm not someone, like, while I do love video games, it's not like the driving force behind me, but I'm the type of person where I'll obsess with one thing for a little bit and then I just stop. I can't help it, But I say this because around when I was like maybe 11 or 12, I started creating my own little creatures and stuff because I was that inspired by Pokemon. And my mama was like, why don't you start making your own characters? Because she always looked at things from like a business perspective. Because she was like, if you want to do art and stuff, learn business and marketing so that you can actually sell your work. And so with me being obsessed with Pokemon, she was like, if you love Pokemon so much, why don't you create your own creatures? And I did. I may have been a little bit younger than that when I first made them. No, I take that back. I was like 11 or 12. I remember what sketchbook that I used. Because sketchbooks are time capsules. And so I would take inspiration from various Pokemon, but I would take it and make my own, like, original characters and stuff. So I discovered that not a lot of artists can do that. From what I've seen, they tend to be I can only create from what is in front of me. And I mean, I'm not talking down on them because they're a lot better at using reference photos than I am, though I am doing a lot better with drawing from observation than I was a couple years ago, like when I was in high school. But anyway, I say this because I just discovered, like, it's a really big talent that I have. Like, I can take a very basic written down concept with no reference photo in sight and create, like, this beautiful character. And I've done that, in my sketchbooks and stuff quite a lot. And it wasn't until I started watching YouTubers and hearing art YouTubers say that they can't do stuff like that I was like, I just thought it was something everyone could do, I mention this because I wanted to create a unique cat design for my sister. This was also inspired by a different cat character idea I have in my head that I've been meaning to sketch out as well. Yeah, I have, obviously I still have those creatures that I mentioned prior that I would like to update their designs. And I made, in 2016, I made some some more characters, um, that I really like. And this cat character idea I have had for about 3 years now. I've just never sketched it out. It's just kind of been in my head because, without going into too much detail, I'm trying to work on something. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I felt my sister would prefer this particular cat design because it takes the Pop-Tart from Nyan Cat. It's a bit chubby like Pusheen, and it has black spots like Milky. I gave him 3 eyes because I am obsessed with 3-eyed creatures as well as 1-eyed creatures. My love of aliens and the fascination with the all-seeing eye played a role here. Yeah, I really like creatures that have 3 eyes or just 1 eye. In my sketchbooks, I keep mentioning my sketchbooks like I'm some type of expert, but I do have quite a few alien creatures that are 1-eyed. There's a drawing that I made for Inktober. This was 2018, where it was the rough drawing of a figure, but the insides of the figure were exposed, and they were like steampunk type of like gears and stuff that were working as the skeleton of the figure. I mean, it was a very rough sketch, but like I understand the concept and everything. And so I'm trying to tap into my fantasy side while also embracing the styles of art I see from Africa and the folk art side. Just really trying to create art just really based on all the types of art that I've been exposed to, and also from what I've observed from life, most definitely. But I just am really just trying to embrace, what I like from everything, and not in like I need an art style cliche, but because not going into all that because that's not what this blog article is about, but I just feel like beginners focus too much on having an art style than they do about growing their own visual library. And I know this because I was this way. And so, but thanks to me, I went to college and stuff and actually started to focus a little bit better. Not really. I have a terrible time focusing and staying on task and on one topic, but I did pay attention to a lot of the art from Latin American countries, Spanish and Latin America, and that led me to want to learn more about art from Africa, which I'm still in the process of doing. And then, of course, there's all the white people art movements that, about like the Renaissance, Fauvism, American art, Dadaism, and stuff. But yeah, so just learning about stuff like that, it helps you. You may not think that it helps you, but it actually does help you to just see things differently, to the point where when you are drawing from observation, you start going, well, I want to change this because of this and stuff. Anyway, did I mention that when the weather finally gets better, I'd like to do more paintings outside? I don't think I mentioned that, but I'm mentioning it now. Because, my favorite urban sketcher following the White Rabbit, I just am so inspired by like her stuff that I want to do urban sketching too, and I want to do plein air painting. Anyway, taking inspiration and executing it in an abstract cat painting on canvas. Yeah, so that part is all about the painting. So let me get... I haven't painted with acrylics in a hot minute. Yeah, I think the last thing that I did with acrylics is my little shelf that I am almost finished with, but haven't finished, that I wrote a blog about in November, I think. Yeah, what happened with that was December happened, and that, combined with the fact that October and November were like my busiest months of the year, my own little home decor projects got put by the wayside, but that was the last time I used acrylics. Even though acrylics are my favorite painting medium, but I have been using gouache as of late because I like how portable it is. Yeah, I
did. 5:00 p.m.
Sorry, that was my computer. I do love acrylics and everything, but I have been using my gouache because I'm trying to just learn more of how to use it, not just in the sense of making full-blown illustrations, but also I'm trying to do more like thinking on the fly, because I feel that because I've been working primarily in a studio type of setting, I feel that I'm very, I don't want to say slow, because that's just, I don't want to use that word, but I feel that I don't really think on my feet when it comes to my art decisions. And that was one thing I noticed with Following the Right Rabbit and even Teo Yaichi. Whenever they're urban sketching, they are like thinking on their feet. And when I think this was last year during quarantine, I was really diving into videos about plein air artists, mainly oil painters, because I'd like to buy water mixable oils in the future. Not for painting outside, but just because I'd like to learn oil paint. I was just watching them paint or learning about what is in their kits or whatever. And whenever they were creating art, it was just very go with the flow and just create and capture what inspired you about that particular area you're looking at. And I think that's a very powerful thing. And so I've been using gouache in the house because it is always too cold or too rainy or there's snow flurries or sleet outside to where I'm like, I am not going out there, because one time, this was December 2019, where I was jogging just about every morning for about a mile. I got super sick and was sick for pretty much the whole month of December and didn't get better till the beginning of January of 2020. So I'm just like, no, I'm not going to subject myself to extreme weather conditions for art or whatever. So in my blog article, I list the colors that I used, and so I'm just going to read them out to you, and they're painting brands, because I'm the type of person who likes to use a mixture of brands, though I think when I run out of the paint that I have in acrylics, there is like maybe 2 or 3 brands that I was looking at in terms of trying as like a replacement, and I know for a fact one of them is the Matisse artist acrylics, mainly because they're named after the artist Henri Matisse, and I like his art, and the paint looks pretty good too. Anyway, I use lemon yellow. This is the Daler Rowney Graduate acrylic, so it's not their Daler Rowney Simply that's mainly found at like Walmart and stuff. This is their graduate acrylic, so The colors are more light fast and thicker, but it's not their System 3 acrylic, which is their artist quality line. I use dioxazine purple and unbleached titanium white from Liquitex Heavy Body acrylics, so their premium line, not the basics, but their premium line. I use cadmium red medium hue, cadmium orange hue, and ultramarine blue from the Chroma A is greater than 2 light fast acrylic. It's the student quality line of the Chroma Atelier Interactive Artist acrylic. But even though they call it their student line, I feel that the colors and the tinting strength are actually on par with some of the more heavier body ranges of or not heavy body, artist quality ranges, because even though it's student grade, it's actually a lot better quality than other student grades that I have tried. And I do in fact like it a lot. And I don't know what part of the video this happened at, but I'm sure we're quite past it. At the start, when I was painting, I was using that cadmium red medium hue, and all the binder came out. So acrylic is made with the acrylic polymer emulsion binder with pigment and stuff, and the binder came out because I haven't used these paints in a while. So what I did, I painted with it and I had to let it dry, and whenever I needed more red, I would use my paletto, which is to the side, but in the future I might not even put it in the video until I can like make my display to where you can see my colors better, which is kind of another reason why I haven't painted with acrylics, because I know people like to see the colors and stuff. But yeah, so the paint it's not spoiled, it's separated from the binder, and that kind of happens if you don't store it right, because I wasn't storing it right and stuff, but it's okay. Don't let that one tube of paint deter you from trying out, their brand of paint. And like none of these are affiliates or anything. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I'm just, saying this is what I am using and stuff like that. And even if you do want to try the more cheaper paint, you can, but I personally don't like craft paint for a lot of different reasons, but this blog article is definitely not about things like that. My painting is done on a 12-inch by 12-inch canvas by Artist Loft. It's one of, I think, 4 or 5 canvases that was given to me as a Christmas present from my friend Robert. And I gessoed it with Blick Master Gesso before painting on top of it, as Blick Master Gesso is my favorite gesso. Yeah, I'm pretty sure every time I mention gesso, I have to mention this because it is my favorite gesso. And I even though the Artist Loft canvases had gesso on them, I'm like, no, I need to put my favorite gesso on top, because I know how that gesso reacts to my paint and stuff compared to whatever Artist Loft uses. And Artist Loft, it's the home brand for Michaels. We don't have a Michaels in my area, but we have a Hobby Lobby, and their home brand is, I think it's called like Master's Touch or something like that, So Artist Loft is Michael's home brand. I made the kitty fly through the city. Oh, that rhymed. Because I haven't done a cityscape in a while. I also didn't want to just stick the cat in outer space. Yeah, I have been, I'm like really obsessed with like landscapes and backgrounds and things. And so I'm trying to do more art where it's more than just the focal point in like a color void, or like a focal point in just, a white background. And I thought about having the cat fly through outer space, but I was like, that's a little bit too derivative. Let me have it like fly through like the city. I thought that'd be pretty cool. And also, I haven't really done a cityscape because I don't live in the city. Thankfully, I hated living in the city. The buildings are tilted because I thought it would add an extra layer of disorientation, as I always feel that way when I'm flying on an airplane, which is true because I hate flying because I feel that way throughout the flight. And also, this is sort of to like go back to my last blog article where I was talking about tilting objects and tilting the composition and warping it as more of like a stylistic sort of thing. I don't know if I'm going to do that in every single work of art I make. I think what I'm going to try and do in the future, though, is go more extreme with it, because I feel these last two attempts I've just been like dipping my feet in it. So I'd like to go more extreme and intentional with it. The Pop-Tart part of the cat is modeled after the confetti cupcake flavor of Pop-Tarts, as that is one of my sister's favorite flavors. She told me her first favorite flavor is a seasonal type of flavor. I think it's called like sugar cookie or something. But she said because that's not year-round, she likes the confetti cupcake flavor. And I ended up going to Kroger a few days ago and found they have unicorn flavored Pop-Tarts, and I am in love. They're so good. And also, bringing back to what I said before about the way that the Pop-Tart looks on my cat, I think the way I made it in this composition, I think it captures it well to show that it is a part of the cat, but it's like the cat is not just stuck on there. And it is, so like if you were to see the bottom part of the cat, it would be, the bottom half of the Pop-Tart. But shaped in like a body form, kind of like a cat in a Pop-Tart costume. But just more natural, so that it doesn't look like the head was cut out from a cat's body and put on there. Cause the anatomy of the nyan cat it just kind of doesn't make sense to me. So I did this painting, and even my sketches, which I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to put my sketching process in the video, because I was sketching, but I was trying to sketch for TikTok, and the video file size is too big, and I can't seem to upload the sketches piece by piece to TikTok. But anyway, I tried to just make it look to where it doesn't bother me, but in my sketch, I had the cat at a different angle, and I was like, it just didn't look right, so I made the cat more like a vertical shot, like looking from above or whatever. Anyway, the city is a bluish purple to contrast the warm colors of the background. I normally paint with cool colors, mostly because green and purple are my favorite colors. This kitty breaks the overall composition with a lively flight. Yeah, I tend to not use warm colors, but I have so much warm colored paint because I try to get split primaries and stuff, and so I was like, let me have like a sunset in the background, but let's make the cool elements more in the front ground, and the cat, the like streak of where the cat is like flying at is more of a mauvey color, because I tried to make it pink, but when I mixed it with my cadmium red, it turned more into a weird, not pink that I was thinking color. And then I was kind of like, well, I don't really want the focal point to be the streak. I want it to be the cat, so I don't need it to be that white, so I added in some of that purple I was using and made this mauve color, which I really like, and then I put the spots on it from the confetti from the Pop-Tart and stuff, and I was like, okay, I like this. And I struggled the most with the mouth of the cat because I tried to like put in teeth and it just was not working, because if you've been paying attention by now, I'm pretty sure you see that I paint with my fingers. Haven't always painted with my fingers, but this is something that I've been doing on and off since 2016 when I'm working with acrylics, and I really like it. But my pinky finger was just a bit too big to be able to form tiny details like that, so I ended up doing multiple layers, just trying to figure out, how can I shape these teeth? And I was finally like, you know what? We're just not going to have teeth. And I just made the mouth red, sort of like a cartoon sort of thing. And then I put whiskers on the little guy. But that was the hardest part for me throughout this whole painting. Like, even the eyes were easier. Because eyes are really simple once you've drawn enough of them realistically. So the eyes were a lot easier, but yeah, so I just need to make a mental note to myself that, like, you don't have to put in every single tiny detail. I will have my sister name the kitty when I give her the painting. I do hope she likes it and that it makes this year brighter. Yeah, so I just really hope that 2021 goes better for her than 2020. I'm pretty sure we're all saying that about each other. And I just really hope she likes this painting because I worked really hard on it. I just need to paint the edges now. But in any case, back to you, Blessing, in front of the camera. And hola, somos los zapatos de Blessing y queremos hablar de los gatos. Sí, mi gato favorito es un gato que no tiene mucho pelo. ¿Por qué? Porque no me gusta cepillarse el pelo de los gatos. Uy, me encantan los gatos con pelo largo, porque los gatos tienen mucho calor y estos gatos me ayudan a dormir durante la noche. Pero necesita cepillárselo. No me gusta el pelo. Tú eres muy diferente de mí. Okay, so now we gotta hang this bad boy up. I will be painting the edges before I actually give it to her. Because, they need to be painted, but I tend to always do that last because, it kind of takes a while for all this to dry, so, yeah. But let's hang it up! Let's hang it up! Okay, let's go take a little moment. Gotta hop off my bed here. Oh, what was that? It's okay. Whenever people buy frames and they take out what was in the frame, one of my friends gave this to me, and for an entire year, I had no idea who it was from, and she finally told me before I graduated that it was from her. But, no, it's okay. I might just need to staple it back up, but, anyway, you probably don't care about that, but, we're kind of raw and unedited over here. So, I'm going to hang this up. Okay, y'all can still see me. Okay, y'all can kind of see that, but I'm definitely gonna do more of a close-up while I talk about why I chose to hang it here and all that wonderful stuff. So let's get you off of this camera stuff. So here is a close-up of this painting. I think it turned out really well, especially considering I haven't painted with acrylics in a couple of months now. I want to like zoom in a bit better so that y'all can see the texture. These marks that you saw me doing rapidly, they're called Scrafito Marks. Basically, if you put up enough layers of paint, you can Scrafito it, kind of like those art things you would do as a kid where it was a black canvas and then you scraped underneath and saw like all the pretty color. It's that, but like, you know, in a more adult, sophisticated form. And when I rediscovered it, it became one of my favorite painting techniques because it creates texture without me having to do all my collage elements that I normally do. So these are all this is the painting close up. I love the way this kitty turned out. So beautiful. So let me do a zoom out. So this is what it looks like on the wall. Hang on. This is how it looks on the wall. These Christmas lights y'all see hanging up, I keep those up year-round. But I put this on my bedroom wall because my sister is with my parents, and she'll be hanging this up in her bedroom for sure, so I thought maybe I should hang it up in my bedroom. So the backdrop is actually two different bed sheets. One is the Peter Rabbit and Friends. The other is, you know, not the Peter Rabbit and Friends. And I use these instead of like wallpaper and stuff because I would like to buy blank bed sheets and paint my own patterns on them and have like a different pattern, you know, throughout various parts of my house. That way I don't have to paint the walls, because my landlord would like for me to paint the walls a solid color, obviously, but painting is just really expensive, and I think it's one of those things where I would do it when I'm like on my way out the door type of thing. But until, you know, that happens, I like this idea that I had. This was like the ending of last summer, where I would hang up these backdrops and stuff, because it takes away, oh, sorry, that was my phone case. It's a rabbit phone case, so sometimes I got to battle the camera with the ears. But I like this idea of the backdrops where I just hang them up. That way it's not wallpaper, it doesn't stick like that, and when I'm ready to move out, I can just unhook them and everything. I was actually inspired by the sorority girls at my college. They would always paint on like bed sheets, and it would be like a fun little thing that they would do for all their events. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I just haven't done it yet, but it's definitely more of an acrylic painting project. So that's the cat painting, and I would just pair it with some type of accent piece that uses those colors. And in my case, I have this over here. These are a couple photos from my trip to El Salvador, and it's on this like blue thing that, you know, you hang your photos up on it. I thought that would go with this pretty well on the same wall because the cat is blue. But you know, you can put up I know people like to hang up, quotes and stuff. So what I would do, and this is a little tip for you, and I say this because my best friend did it for me. I would print out a quote in like a specific color, a color scheme that matches this. Then you put it in a frame and then you can hang it up. Probably right there, I would hang up something small right there, like a small quote or something. And it'd be like a square painting, a small thingy, and this large rectangular multicolored photo bash thing. So that's what I would do. Let's just have one more pan around of the painting. And I know y'all see this like hazy ring light. That is my selfie ring light that I use because I don't have like a really big ring light. But the colors on the buildings is actually the violet mixed with the blue that I use, but it all just looks blue on camera for some reason. I don't know if I could correct that in editing. I'm using a different video editor, so I don't know. But yeah, it's actually more of a jeweled violet, kind of like an amethyst color. But yeah, that's one last pan around. So that is the painting all hung up and everything. I do hope you Peace Doves enjoyed this video. I'm going to be finishing off the edges of the painting and I'm going to give it to my sister and she'll most definitely name the kitty, and when she does I'll be sure to tell you Peace Doves what she decided to name him. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed my blog article, it would mean the world to me if you became a member of the Peace Dove Nest, link down below in the Coco Ruptu, so that you can be able to go to the page so that you can sign up. But it is blessingvhart.us/gimme, GIMMIE. And members of the Peace Dove Nest, they get emails, newsletters basically of everything that I am currently working on. They also get input on like secret things that I haven't released to the public. They also get the deepest discounts on purchases in my store. And if you become a member of the Peace Dove Nest right now and everything, you get an instant 20% off coupon on any purchase in my store. So that's like the biggest reason why people become a member of the Peace Dove Nest, is for that jaw-dropping discount right there on, original artwork, handmade artwork, But it would just mean the world to me if you became a member of the Peace Dove Nest. I do hope you Peace Doves enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope to see you doves again soon. Adios!